Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
A double-edged sword. Great to have the warmer temps, but they are increasing the danger for ice fishermen on Devil's Lake. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Pressure ridges and wide cracks that are sometimes hidden in the ice have increased the danger level for thousands of ice anglers who head to the lake every winter. As Valley News Team's Neil Carlson shows us, guides say it's still safe to fish Devil's Lake. You just need to know where to drive.
There's a hidden danger lurking in the ice beneath the snow on Devil's Lake in the form of pressure ridges.
Well, what we have going on with the ice right now, with the rising temperatures, is the pressure ridges that we have out here are really starting to open up. We're starting to see a lot of open water, and it's becoming a very big safety issue.
Shifting sheets of ice have created gaps in the ice as wide as 3 feet. Those gaps are quickly hidden by a thin covering of ice and drifting snow.
See, and as I said, it's froze over overnight, but this was all water yesterday.
You can't see the open water, but it's there.
And then you've got the secondary one out there that's a little bit worse.
Tilton says they've already had the front wheels of 3 pickups fall into the gap.
Guides here at Woodland Resort say the main thing is to ask somebody before you take off driving out across the ice on Devil's Lake. They'll show you where to drive, and they even have the equipment to get you out there safely, even over those pressure ridges.
Tilton says their tracked vehicles can get you out on the lake safely, and they float.
Yeah, these are our Hoagland units. They're retired Army units that we have here, and they are able to float if they do go in the water, if they do bust through the water. And this is what we mainly transport our people out with when we are running into these type of conditions.
Again, Tilton stresses that the overall ice conditions are safe. You just need to be aware of the possible dangers. From Devil's Lake, Neil Carlson, Valley News Live.
Now, it's expected these problems with pressure ridges could get even worse as the temps rise, and hundreds of anglers head to Devil's Lake this weekend. If you'd like more information on ice conditions, we have it online. Head to valleynewslive.com and then click on this story.
Despite the dangers, the warmer weather is certainly welcome. Sure nice to get above zero. Hutch is here now, and I have a question for you. Are we in any position to stay above zero tonight?
Yes, we absolutely are. And in fact, temperatures have warmed up, but we have some slippery snow on the way. And in fact, reports of rain and some ice out to the west. Take a look at the latest radar, and you see this batch of moisture working its way into the central Red River Valley. And we do have a little bit of light snow pushing its way into Clearwater County, Becker County in the DL area. This is light, fluffy snow. This was in the FM area about an hour ago. Norman County continues to see some snow moving in, but where you see the white, these are very large flakes being picked up by the radar. And on the west side of this, we're getting reports of this changing over to rain. So we'll see in the next half hour here in Fargo, snow develop, and then maybe even brief large flakes with moderate to heavy snowfall that's moving through Argusville and the I-29 corridor out towards the Buffalo and Castleton areas. And then it could change over with a mix of rain and sleet out there. So it doesn't look like we'll have significant accumulations this evening, maybe up to a half of an inch or an inch, but temperatures will rise once this little weather maker works its way through. So the FM area is going to see some slippery conditions this evening with temperatures steady in those mid to lower 20s, guys.
That really sounds good. Thanks, Hutch.
Icy conditions have played a role in several accidents on the I-94 Red River Bridge between Fargo and Moorhead in recent weeks. And DOT officials report the anti-icing system is working fine there. The North Dakota and Minnesota DOT together, they collect weather data at that bridge and then run it into a system that decides whether or not to activate the chemical sprayers. But it's an anti-icing system. It's not a de-icing system.
It's an anti-icing system, not a de-icing system. It's not, the system's not designed to remove ice and compacted snow from the bridge. It was primarily designed for those frosty mornings to get a little bit of chemical down, to make sure that the bridge is, in good a shape as it can.
Well, Gorder says when it gets cold, though, 10 degrees or colder, the chemical the sprayer system works does not work. His advice, remove distraction and pay attention behind the wheel always, especially with the thaw and the freeze cycle coming with the warm-up. Well, a busy stretch of road on West Fargo is now back open after a deadly crash there on icy roads this morning. Investigators finished up reconstruction of the crash on Main Avenue this afternoon. A 50-year-old woman from West Fargo was killed and another person injured in the three-vehicle collision. West Fargo Chief Mike Wrighton says the warmer temperatures, the freeze-thaw cycles, can make streets and highways deceptively slippery. The names of those involved are not yet being released yet.
Nearly 4 months have passed since 18-year-old Tom Beerson was killed. Beerson was a freshman at NDSU, last seen in North Fargo. His body was found days later in Larry's RV sales in Moorhead. Many of you continue to ask about the investigation, wondering what's taking so long. Valley News Team's Ashley Bishop sat down with Moorhead Police today. Ashley?
That's right. Lieutenant Tori Jacobson told me that this is an extensive investigation that stretches out of our area. He also explained that the autopsy of Beerson isn't complete, and investigators continue to speak with the medical examiner.
Further testing, and still are looking at more testing as recent as this week. So a timeline on a final report where they actually put it in black and white paper, I'm unsure when that would be provided, but it's not holding up the investigation.
There has even been many rumors about how Beerson was found. Jacobson says that speculation has swirled because of the amount of time that has passed, and his agency takes those speculations and rumors into account.
And as a result, our investigators have a responsibility to look into anything that's provided to them to see if there's anything credible or valid with that information and to document what they find.
Jacobson says they do this so they can compare facts or find any inconsistencies. He also says they are further along in the investigation than they were just 4 months ago.
Well, we've done a lot of work over the last 4 months. Unfortunately, we still don't know who's responsible or been able to provide specific information.
Jacobson wants everyone who has followed this investigation to know that just because information hasn't been released does not mean the investigation isn't active.
Information we're able to release is very limited, just at the risk of compromising the investigation, but certainly there isn't information that we're aware of that we're withholding from the public that compromises their safety.
Now, Lieutenant Jacobson also told me they still have not located the white shoe or the iPhone belonging to Beerson. They believe that finding those items will aid in the investigation. Mike?
Thanks, Ashley. And it never hurts to remind people that if you do come upon something that might relate to this case, give them a call.
A home under construction will no longer. It took a little bit longer than expected to finish after it caught fire today. It happened on First Avenue East in West Fargo in the Rivers Bend subdivision. An insulation truck parked next to the home caught fire after something malfunctioned in the vehicle, possibly the generator. Crews managed to get the flames under control before the house caught fire, thankfully, but there is still some minor damage on the outside of this home, but the truck is a total loss.
Tonight, the community of Larimore, North Dakota is coming together to raise money for people impacted by that recent deadly train school bus crash. Volunteers will be bussing tables at the Grand Forks Pizza Ranch located on 32nd Avenue South. This fundraiser goes until 9 o'clock tonight, and the money raised will go straight to the family's medical expenses. Pizza Ranch is donating 20% of sales tonight, and if you can't make it there tonight, another fundraiser is scheduled for Saturday, January 24th at the Larimore American Legion. It'll be a live auction. They're asking donations for that auction at the Bremer Bank Citizens Community Credit Union in Larimore and the Grand Forks Sam's Club. You can also make monetary donations at Bremer and Citizens in care of Larimore Strong. Now later on Valley News Live 10 at 10 tonight, we have more community's reaction to reaching out to the families affected by the tragic accident.
The chair of the State Board of Higher Education has resigned. Dr. Kirsten Diedrich sent in her resignation to the governor. 4.5 years Diedrich has served on the board. During her time there, she started an in-depth board orientation and training and oversaw board policies. Dr. Terry Jelmstead, vice chair, will take over leadership of the board.
The city of Fargo is a step closer to winning $5 million. The city has been picked as a semifinalist in the Georgetown University Energy Prize competition. Now, to win it, a local team made up of students and professionals must show creative ways of saving money and energy for houses and public buildings. Now, win or lose, Fargo Commissioner Mike Williams says it's making a huge impact on the city.
North Dakota ranks last for energy efficiency across the nation. We don't like to finish last in anything, so we have a long way to go.
Williams adds that fuel and electric prices in North Dakota are cheaper than a lot of other states, but residents here have higher bills because the state is less energy efficient.
Well, coming up later on Valley News Live at 6, what you can do to protect your skin during nasty winter conditions.
Speaking of nasty winter conditions, we're going to get a shot of winter-like weather making its way through. The DOT camera in Castleton shows horizontally flying flakes. Your forecast follows.